The Behringer BH770 headphones versus the Behringer BH470 headphones. Both of these headphones are under 50 bucks and they're both from Behringer. So how do they stack up against each other? What's up guys, it's tech-raccoon back with another video, and I've been testing these two headphones against each other for the past couple of weeks, and I've come to some rather interesting conclusions. I'll get onto the sound side of things a little bit later, but let's start off by comparing the build quality of these two headphones, because I think that's pretty important as well. So the BH470s are basically entirely made out of plastic, and they don't particularly feel that premium. Coming in at 35 Australian dollars though, it is a good value for money in terms of build quality. I mean, sure, they don't have any metal on the exterior of them, but they still feel relatively decent. The plastic is solid, and they generally just feel premium in the hand and also on the head. Then as for the Behringer BH770s, these cost 55 Australian dollars, but the reason I said they're both under $50 is because I'm talking about US prices. In Australian prices, they are 55, and sometimes you can snag them for 50 Australian dollars. And what you get is a mostly metal build construction here, with some hints of plastic, and the plastic that you do get is very, very sturdy and strong, a lot sturdier than the BH470s, so the build quality is definitely a lot better on the 770s. But what about comfort? Well, this really comes down to personal preference. I much prefer the feel on my head with the 770s. I love that they just go all over the ear, and there's no part of the foam that's actually really touching the ear. While with the BH470s, the foam does touch the ears a little bit, and yes, the foam is really soft, so it just nicely curves around the ear and stuff, but that is just one thing to note. If you don't want any foam or of any of that padding to be touching your ear, go for the 770s in terms of comfort. But either way, they are both very comfortable headphones. The Behringer BH770s giving a more open feel, while the Behringer BH470s giving a much more tighter feel, somewhat similar to the Sennheiser HC280 Pros, which I have. Both of these headphones have a cable that has a 3.5mm jack going into the 1/4 inch interface jack, and it comes with that adapter in the box. Now, as for the cables they use, the BH770s have a really nice braided cable that's about 2 to 3 meters long. And I'm really happy that it's not coiled, because I'm not a massive fan of coiled cables, while the BH470's cable is coiled and it's about 1.5 meters long to 2 meters. So it's relatively long, but I'm just not a massive fan of the coiled cable design, because I think it puts a lot of weight on the headphones and makes them just that little bit less comfortable. But that is personal preference again. As for the topic of sound, there is actually quite a bit of difference between these headphones. Coming into buying the BH770s, I was actually expecting them to be using the exact same drivers as the BH470s. I thought that Behringer would just cheap out and use the same drivers, but no, they've made a completely different driver for these headphones, and they're actually a lot better in my opinion. The BH470s have a very muddy sound. Everything is in the mid-tones really. There is a decent amount of bass there, but it's more rumbly and it doesn't sound that clear and punchy. And then the trebles are just sort of pretty mediocre, and they're very quiet compared to the mids and the lows. While on the other hand, with the BH770s, the treble is really the outstanding feature. You have a lot of crystal clear detail there. The mid-tones are also nice, and then you just do have a little bit of a low-end clarity there, but it's not very loud. So these are more of a treble heavy headphone, but they're a lot more even than the BH470s. So they do create a relatively even sound signature, but of course they're not going to be anything as good as the 280 Pros that I have from Sennheiser. The BH770s do have more of a harsh sound, if I'm being honest, and neither the 470s or the 770s would be my pick for actual professional mixing, but they are good headphones to listen to music and stuff like that, and you don't really care about bass that much, then I'd say the 770s are the way to go. Or if you do want a bit more bass, then I'd go with the 470s, but you'll have to keep in mind that there's not going to be much treble there. But if you do want the overall better quality headphones, the 770s are definitely the way to go, and they're definitely worth the extra 20 Australian dollars or so that they cost, because you get just such a much better package, more comfortable, way more solid, and just a better sound quality in general. So hopefully this video helped you decide between the two, and by no means I'm saying the 470s are bad headphones. I still think they're really nice headphones, just not as good as the 770s. But either way, I hope you did enjoy this video. Drop a like if you did, drop a dislike if you didn't. Remember to subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.